few questions open to all of you, and then I'll ask you to respond briefly because I want to make sure that we have enough time for our audience. Consul General Martin Young made a very good, very sly plug for people looking to invest in Europe. And I would just ask all of you, given the uncertainty that people perceive, you know, you've got an audience here of the kind of people that you would be talking to under these sets of circumstances. If they're looking at markets that look like potential advantages in Asia or even in parts of Latin America, what's the case that you make? Why is investing in Europe still a good idea?
If I may start, my message to the American investors would be, look at the real economy. Don't look at these financial market speculations, what's going on in the financial system. Look at the real economy. If there is a sound economy with innovation, with manufacturing, with good infrastructure, go for it. Look around if you find a better place in this world than Europe where to put your money. I mean, except, of course, your own country. There is political stability, there is good infrastructure, labor force, everything is all right. Do your homework yourself, find your niche. But when you know how much money, foreign direct investment from this side of the Atlantic goes to Europe and how much from Europe to here, you would be amazed. It's really the biggest international economic system, this transatlantic economy. And there is no reason because of a monetary crisis. By the way, there is no liquidity crisis. There is so much money around. When you look at the daily, how much central banks shuffle into the European Central Bank, because they simply fear where else should we put our money, so they give it in billions of dollars to the European Central Bank. There is no liquidity crisis. It's again, as I said, a crisis of trust, where to put the money. And to investors, I would say, Europe is still the most important trading and investing partner of America. It is a strategic partnership because we are not alone in this world, and sorry to say they are representative of the so-called emerging big powers. If we, the transatlantic economic community, don't set the rules right and get our act together, the others will set the rules. So we are still in the transatlantic economy the most important system. There's also this strategic background. You know, during the Cold War, Europe was of high priority for the Americans. It is not anymore for political reasons when you see the new defense and military strategy of President Obama. But Europe is still your most important market and vice versa. Germany has created 600,000 jobs here. I just learned BMW is building a new manufacturing plant in Spartanburg. Thyssen has invested $1 billion in Mobile, Alabama. Even your beloved Airbus is coming manufacturing here. So there is no reason why we should not trust each other. Go for it. We are solid partners.
Yes, by all means. Yes.
I would like to say that the European market is a market of 500 million people, so it's a huge market. And I would like to refer also to the countries in crisis, because as Giuseppe said, I think before, in every crisis there is an opportunity. So, particularly in those countries, there are a lot of opportunities now. So if you dream to buy this house by the beach in Greece, go now, the prices are low. Also, I would like to refer to our people. Our people are very, very skilled people and very highly educated. There are, for my country, for Greece, there are a lot of opportunities in the energy sector. Greece is an energy hub because of its geographic positions. We have reasons to believe, we are making research, that there is a lot of oil in the Ionian Sea. We are also having, we have a good record with green technologies. tourism is always a great industry in Greece, and also there is a boost of exports of the beautiful Greek products. So don't be afraid of the newspapers and what they write about the countries in crisis. There are indeed a lot of opportunities there.
I want to ask you all one final question before I open it up to the audience. There was a moment several months ago now in a presidential debate here in the United States. There's a Republican debate, of course, this year, but this is a bipartisan where the candidates were asked how they as president would respond to the economic situation in Europe. None of them really addressed the problem. And that seems to be, that sort of ambivalence seems to be pretty widespread in our political system. For an American audience, is there anything that you're looking for America to be of help with during this process? And if so, what?
Yeah, definitely. President Obama has been heavily invested since the beginning in the so-called European crisis. He's been in constant touch with all of our leaders. And I think the basic understanding is that the economic health of Europe is in the best interest of the United States. We are the first trade partner. We are the investment also partner. And so definitely, if you wanna have the economic recovery that you are looking for in the United States, you've got to have a healthy Europe. You have to have. You cannot afford a recession, a heavy recession in Europe, because that would interfere heavily also on the prospect for the U.S. economy. I think that's quintessential. That's something that, despite what they say in debates, because there's always domestic constituency which you have to take into account, but I think that's something that everybody understands.
Anyone else? Okay, well with that, we will open the floor for questions. And I will walk this microphone around the room, like one large pass for all of you. We're not going to be able to get to all of you. Please send your hate mail to any member of the World Affairs Council staff except for me. There are just a few basic ground rules. One, please make your questions rather than speeches. Two, please keep them concise. So ladies and gentlemen, with that, let's throw the floor open. And nobody can throw it by hand close to me, could they? Okay.
I wonder if someone would comment on the arithmetic of this debt. For instance, how much money is owed, for instance, by Greece? We hear so much about that. And who's it owed to? Is it other countries, other banks? Is it bonds, etc.? How much is that money dollar with respect to GDP? And once again, I'll say Greece, but anyone else? Okay. And
no, we can stop there, I'm sorry. We have one question each, I'm sorry.
What are you doing about it?
Go ahead.
Well, the debt of Greece is, for 2010, it was 145% of our GDP. Now for the numbers, the last two loans we got from the IMF and the European Union, the first was $130 billion, the other one, 110, and the other one was $120 billion.
My name is Steve Smith, and I represent the Northrop Corporation in Southern California. And it's interesting to see this debate come to California and Los Angeles, which I think now is one of the world trade centers of the world, western face toward the Pacific Ocean rather than the Atlantic. And the thing that bothers us out here so much is why is it that the euro, which is the common currency in Europe, does not have a sovereign country making its common laws for the entire European nation, like the United Nations of Europe, to make the politics match the dollar.